Hello soul friends, this is Mary and welcome back to my channel. Today's pick a card reading is going to be all about what spirits are coming in for you for spooky season. As we all know, the veil is very thin this time of year, so let's look into what they have to tell you, who they are, and who's going to be coming forward to you during this year's spooky season. So I count that around like anywhere between September 22nd to November 3rd, but that's just me. However you like it. All right. So we have 4 different groups to choose from. Remember, no matter your individual beliefs, tarot or oracle reading is your spirit guides coming forward to give you advice, or to simply your subconscious mind helping you answer life's ponders. No matter how you look at that, it is healthy and you are in the right place. So welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before. These are the decks we shall be using. Oh, let's see, what else do we have here? Let's just leave it with that for now. And Group 1, you have the Spider card and the Spider charm. Group 2, you have the Feather with the eye and the Barmbrack card. They're cute. Group 3, you have the Death Head Moth and the Black Cat card. In Group 3, you have the Trick or Treat card and the Little Bat. Okie dokie, pause if you need. We shall see you in your individual readings. Bye-bye-bye-bye! Hello, Group 1. So if you picked the Spider card and the Spider charm, let's go ahead and talk about this card. It's talking about community and web weaving. I feel like the spirits coming towards you have a couple of messages. One of the messages that I got right off the bat was I chose this charm with this, and it kind of looks like there's a smaller spider in the bigger spider's web. And this is like an orb weaver spider of some kind, right? And so that made me immediately think about orb weaver spiders and how when they choose a mate, the male is a much smaller little spider that lives on the outskirts of her web, and she'll either kill him and eat him, or she'll keep him and have babies with him. And that's just part of how they do their thing. But anyway, that makes me think about love, which is super gross, guys. But I do have some romance vibes coming through for some of you during spooky season. Your guides are offering some advice towards that. I feel like for those of you that the message is coming through, you're already with someone. And your guides are just like showing approval, like you're well matched. You know, you're quite natural together. That kind of thing. Let's say you're gonna like eat him if, you know. Well, obviously, you didn't eat him, so it is a match made in heaven, right? Okay, so congratulations. The other spirit that's coming through as far as spirit energy is this community energy. I feel like you have a past life, some of you have a past life connection with your community that you were in. I feel like somebody works in a historic building. I don't know if it's like a courthouse or an old, but like the building itself is like a landmark of your community, and you work in it and you like take pride in it. That's what I'm feeling. Like maybe it's like a museum or what are they called? Yeah, I forget what they're called. We have them here. I went and did a bunch of research on this haunted place I was living, and now I can't remember. The interpretive center. Yeah, maybe it's an interpretive center. I don't know. Anyway, those are the specifics that are coming through at this moment. This very timeless connection to your community. And maybe the community that's there at this time doesn't know it, but the community that came before knows it. And whatever spirits live in this community still know it, that you're a part of it. That you have, you know, and it doesn't have to be like a super old looking building. It could be like a hospital that's just been around for a long time. You know, that kind of energy. It's just something that's been very important to you, but it's also important to the community around you. And I feel like that's like your life path is a message that's coming through. Like you just find that kind of role over and over and over again in your lives. For some of you, that's a message. The spider is also about keeping a home. This type of spider obviously makes a very beautiful and clean little home. Not all spiders do, but this one does. So some of you might keep a neat house where you have just a nice home space. It's comfy. I've been told that my house is comfy, like even if it's like kind of messy sometimes, like people still say that it's comfy and they want to stay, you know? I'm like, well, that's good because I'm stuck here forever. So it better be comfy. But you get the idea. Like some of you keep a nice house and or a nice space for yourself. Okay, let's get some tarot and find out who's coming towards you from the spirit realm for spooky season. And what messages do they have for you? Page of Wands. I want you to get a good look at these so you can also intuitively feel with me here. Page of Wands is about kind of like being an apprentice of the arts, is kind of the story I associate with the Page of Wands, like learning a new spiritual practice of some kind, or, you know, finding yourself in some new, like finding your calling. And that could be like career, but it's like career that resonates with you on a spiritual level as well. So like a career that, even if it's like, you know, tattooing, some people look into that, you know, some people are just drawn on skin. Others are thinking about it in a very spiritual way, you know, and they want it to tell a story and they want to work with that client and do that whole thing. Do that whole bit. Temperance. It's a very interesting temperance card. Look at the little boots. Some of you might have some really interesting shoes. It's coming through. Temperance is about finding balance. This is like really like a becoming card to me. It's you know, and that goes along with that Page of Wands of becoming something. I feel like some of you during this spooky season are really finding your calling in a spiritual way. Career wise, maybe some of you are taking like a class or doing some research towards something where you're learning about yourself. And you're learning about, oh, okay. And yeah, I am feeling some recovery vibes, and that can often lead to some community orientation, because like a lot of times part of like being recovered is doing charity work of some kind. It really helps with sobriety. And I feel like for some of you, that's something that you're doing, and you're like, I never pictured myself in these roles, but here I am. It doesn't have to be that exact scenario, but something along those lines, like kind of out of your comfort zone, but still crafting it in a beautiful way, like being very mindful of how you approach others is coming through. The other guide that's coming through is like kind of this angelic presence, but it's almost like this fallen angel feeling. And I'm, you know, not sure how all of you feel about that. So just take this if it resonates and don't if it doesn't. like I'm feeling this like guide energy of someone that is maybe not as black and white, good or evil, maybe a little bit of both, and yet they're still like somebody that works with you. So they're wanting to make themselves known, and that can be kind of conflicting for some, to be like, I don't know if I like that way that guide looks, you know? Because I'm feeling like they don't look conventional. They might look scary in the Halloween sense of the word. I remember the first time I meditated and saw guides that like didn't look human, and I was like, whoa, my mom would like flip if she saw something like that. Okay, we have the Hierophant. Yeah, that's a teacher coming through. Notice again the spiritual element. Some of you I feel like might be connecting to a Native American type energy that I'm picking up on. I'm also seeing this like eye. So maybe you were drawn to this pile as well with the eye charm. I don't know. I'm drawn to eyes. I have an eye tattoo. Some of you are drawn to the number 5. For some of you, I feel like the 5th of October is going to be significant for you. For some of you, the 14th of October will be. But I feel like a teacher coming into that community atmosphere for some of you and kind of helping you through this transition period. Like if some of you, it might be like a sponsor if you're in recovery of some kind, or like a physical therapist, or like a therapist who helps you heal in some way. I don't know, like somebody that knows the ropes that helps you out in the community in some sort of situation. I feel like some of you really getting involved in some autumn dealings. Like, I don't know. What do adults do, y'all? What did I do back when I had a regular life? Yeah, at this time of year in the school world, we would be doing like homecoming somewhere in September, October. And that could be anywhere from like right when school gets in September to October 22nd, October. It was very strange. And I was like, what is it? And they were like, we don't know. And I was like, kill me. Anyway. So like some of you might be doing like football things. Is like that a thing? Kids doing football stuff. Volleyball was a thing in the fall. Hunting was a thing out where I live. It still is. I just am not associated with it any socializing anymore, so I don't do any of that stuff. I'm not sure what else goes on. Community stuff usually has, like some people, if you're putting on like a haunted house or something, you're doing some crazy stuff. I've been to some crazy haunted houses, and the preparation that goes into that has got to be insane. So I'm feeling like very community-oriented feelings and situations, stresses, and newness for some. For others, it's just like a newness inside of you, a new spiritual awakening of some sort. Some of you might just feel spiritually more awake this time of year, which is not by accident. The veil is thinner, so trust your feelings if you're having them. King of Swords, overcoming challenges. You have a guide with you that kind of has that like Archangel Michael kind of energy, like that protective sword kind of deal. Pretty awesome. Like power is coming through for some of you. Like there's definitely this protection over you and a extra boost towards overcoming any challenges that are facing you during this season. And so if you want to tap into somebody, tap into, you know, like your non-human spirit guides if you're comfortable doing so. And if you're not, that's okay. This feels like a, if not human, angelic, more human form than this other guide that I'm seeing. These feel like human energies. Like the teacher coming in, I feel is human and not like a spirit. Yes. Okay, moving on. What kind of advice do you have? I'm hearing the name Frank over here. 10 of Pentacles. Big opportunities with money making for some this month. So keep your eyes open. Some of you are really advancing in career at this time. Have faith. You have protection at this time. I love this Fool card. It's so cute. Some of you have a very darling pet, like a dog or a cat or something. It doesn't have to be a dog or a cat. I know some people have different types of pets. That looks like a cat. A good time. Wheel of Fortune. I like this for you. Okay, so your guides are there to help you overcome challenges. If you're recovering, you're on a good patch. You're headed towards a bright future. And you're just at the beginning of like some major life changes that are really, really, really positive. So with that, I'm going to leave you. If this is helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading, there are ways to do so in the description box. Thank you, my friends. We shall see you next time. Bye-bye-bye. Group 2. So if you picked the eye. Let's go ahead and talk about your spooky season energy and spirits that are near you during this time when the veil is thinnest. Okay. One of the things that's coming through is your guides are telling me that they have a very close eye on you. And that's something that's coming through very, very clearly and very loudly. And they're really saying not to worry, that things are going really well for you. Your card would promise the same. You have this cute little celebratory card here. The little pumpkins have their company and their little parm brag bread, whatever that is. It's delicious, I'm sure. And it says sweetness and synergy. So I feel like your guides are saying that you are very much headed in the right direction, and the way that they're making themselves known to you during this season when the veil is thinnest is that they are close, that they are showing you they are near with funny little coincidences. Things are going to mean different things to different people, so just take whatever resonates with you. And the examples I'm giving, if you don't have an example that comes up, there might be something else that I'm just not thinking to say. Little synchronicities and things like seeing a number that you associate with one of your guides, or seeing a repetitive number and being like, I don't know who that's associated with, but it's got to be one of my guides because they were talking about keeping an eye on me, or something lucky happens and then you look over and there's that number and you're like, oh my gosh, that kind of synergy of little aha moments that feel like you're not alone, that somebody's looking out for you, that it's not just you out here, that there's all kinds of good stuff in the world. Other examples. There's a type of dog I associate with my dad, like that kind of stuff. Like you might see somebody or something that reminds you of a past loved one or a guide. So look for little things that are like, aha, it could be something very simple like, I don't know, here's another example. Like one time I couldn't get sleep and I was tossing and turning, and it was like 4 a.m. already and I had to get up in like an hour, and it was so stupid that I was even still trying. And right in that perfect moment of frustration, I knocked my phone behind the bed and the way my bed is set up, I can't get to something that falls behind it without big giant male assistants. So the big giant male assistant was not here at the time, and I just lost it. I just started crying, and it was just that perfect moment of just stupid first world problems all culminating, and I thought, my phone's going to be going off on an alarm that goes off forever, and my poor cats are going to have to listen to that when I go to work because there's nothing I can do, and I'm going to have to get up now because it's just going to keep going off. And I hate my life, and I'm crying, and this voice out of nowhere was like, go get kitchen tongs out of the cupboard, and I was like, oh my God. I never would have thought of that on my own, and I felt like it was my father, you know, and I went and got him, and I was able to fish my phone out with tongs. So like little silly things like that, but they just come at the most sweet and awesome times that you're just like, thank you, you know, like you're at work and you see that coworker that is what I call a hostage taker, where they just won't leave you alone, and they use work as an excuse to bother people, seemingly. And they're probably just lonely, but sometimes that's not your problem when you're at work. You know what I'm saying, Charlotte? So anyway, you know, you're walking down the hall and there they are. And right at that beautiful moment, they turn around and leave that area, and you don't bump into them that day because of that. And that's like your guides coming through for this season. So keep an eye out for that. Guides are always trying to tell you that they're close to you, that they're trying to communicate with you. And so I feel like you guys as guides are really pushing that home for some of you, that it might be kind of a new concept. Like maybe you or somebody that was more aware, and like some of you might, I hear this all the time from people, they're like, I'm scared of like what they're gonna say or sound like, and I don't want them to pop out of nowhere. That would scare the heck out of me. And I'm like, yeah, like tell them that, and like don't do any of that sixth sense BS. You know, I don't need to see how your wound and how you died, and you don't have to show me any of that, you know, or I don't want to see you at all. Like that kind of energy is totally fine to tell them. What they're not trying to scare you generally. Okay. All right. But yeah, just wonderful little things just coming together. I feel like some of you are doing a lot of baking, and your guides are saying that there's magic in the baking that you do. Mm-hmm. Four of Wands in reverse. Four of Wands in reverse. Okay, hang on. I need more information on that Four of Wands in reverse, please. Discretion number 20. Do like the World. Is that the World card? No. It's Judgment. Okay. Sorry, I'm like listening. Okay. Sorry, I should have paused while I sat there and listened. I feel like for some of you, this is like a very specific message from a guide. They're like, there was some kind of a party that got ruined, like a wedding that you were, I don't feel like it was your wedding. I feel like you were maybe at a wedding that ended disastrously. Which is interesting. But I'm feeling like that your guides are saying that whatever got ruined, something got ruined recently and I feel like you were more of a witness than a participant in whatever took place. It feels like maybe a wedding went awry for someone. Your guides are showing that there should be like a second chance or reconciliation with that Judgment card. Interesting. I'm also seeing, for some of you, there's a message coming through with these two cards that there's a guide saying that when like you lost them, it was like your world got kind of turned upside down, or all the good things in your world weren't there anymore kind of energy. And they're showing that they're not gone, that there's a second chance, that they're with you always, that they're trying to show you signs, that they're going to show them to you in this way during this season while the veil's the thinnest. And like, here's the thing, guys, you can always tell your guides like, hey, this would really resonate with me if you talked with me this way. You know, show me a feather, you know, and it doesn't have to be an actual feather floating through the air. It could be like a feather some chick uses on a YouTube video that's from a necklace that she got out of her closet or whatever. A feather on a television, a feather in art, a feather popping out of a coat or a pillow. Okay. Whatever you need, they will jump on those things. I find that it's helpful to connect with them on things, especially if it's a guide that you know. So if it's not somebody you knew personally in life, like maybe somebody that you've learned enough about them that you're like, I know what this guide kind of likes, because we like to like give them things that they like or do things that honor them and that we feel like they would appreciate generally once we start working with them. And I apologize if this isn't new to you. I feel like for some of you, this is like a new thing, like working with guides to this extent. So in any event, I feel like you are going to figure out ways to communicate with them so that it doesn't feel scary when they show up. For those of you that are worried about that. For those of you that were worried that the death was the end in some way, your guides are showing that it's not, that there's a second chance. There's another life after physical death or whatever. Like, or whatever. The guides are like, that wasn't very eloquent, Miriam. I'm like, you're right, it wasn't. But they just eloquently spit out a bunch of cards for us. So let's take them. 2 of Wands. Two of Cups. Knight of Wands. Goodness gracious. Eight of Swords. That's a lot of information, guys. Scoochies. Scoochies. And 5 of Cups. Okay. Loaded like a baked potato. Okay, here we go. All right. So much. Okay. So the other messages that are coming through are a lot. And they're very specific to different people. So you might only get like one thing. I apologize for that. You can always book a reading with me and get a more in-depth look. So with the 2 of Wands, some of you have a decision you have to make. And your guides are going to do that fun little sweetness and synchronicity and synergy energy to help you decide and make a decision, whatever that decision is that you're torn about. For some of you, it's about romance. And I feel like the decision is going to be to stay with that person. Knight of Wands is also about like falling in love and passion. So I feel like that's also the message coming through for that vein of people. And then that message ends there, I think. For others, I'm feeling that you're torn about something, about a relationship with someone. And your guides are trying to tell you what to choose when it comes to this relationship. Whatever that looks like to you, whether that's third party or not. Your guides are here to help you discern what you're supposed to do within that relationship that you're so unsure of. And they're trying to tell you not to focus on the negative, to focus on what you still have and not what has been lost. That's also a message coming through for this area as well, from that guide that was saying that it's not the end. Okay. Oof. Okay. Any other messages or spirits who want to talk to group 2? Somebody's like a past life romance person, like a lover or a spouse, is coming through. They very much miss you. You might have known them in life and lost them in life, or lost them in another life. In any event, they're on the other side currently, and it looks like in whatever life you had with this person that you did have kids with them. And they very much still feel married to you even on the other side. And that also goes along with that energy with that 2 of Cups and the 2 of Wands. I feel some frustration with this guide coming through, like they want to touch you, but they can't. They're very frustrated. I'm trying to keep this G-rated. So if you've been feeling odd sensations in the night, chances are somebody's trying to get your attention that way. Moving on. Aw. Yeah, I feel like this guide is kind of heartbroken without you. I hear you. I'm not trying to discount you. Like, it's not just physical. I love them. Aw. Like, no. Oh, man. I feel like I just stumbled into the middle of a really intimate conversation. There's a bunch of other people's guides and a bunch of other people that might be watching. But here it is. You know, there's a spirit out there that really is in love with you. Somebody in group 2. Like I said, you might have known them in this life. You might not know them in this life. They might be from a past life, and they are waiting for you. And they still try to, like, talk with you, and they feel like you don't hear them, and they feel frustrated that they can't physically touch you in a romantic way. Yes, I'm mm-hmm. Okay. They're okay, you know, they just really miss you and really miss being with you in a physical way. Other guides, spirits, messages coming in for group 2. This is very different from how group 1 went. King of Wands. Once again, we have that very passionate, fiery, husbandy energy. Doesn't have to be a husband, but you know what I mean. Burning desires. Yikes. Spirits can get, you know, crushes on people, but I mean, this feels like somebody who, like, somehow knew you in a life of some kind. They're trying to communicate with you in this way. The way that they're trying to, it's very sweet, the way they're trying to communicate with you and let you know that they are there and that they're leading you and helping you through these, like, relationships and big life decisions, mishaps, heartbreaks, that they can share heartbreak with you, that they want you to focus on what's positive and not what's negative, despite missing you in a lot of cases. Aw. Aw, spirits. Across the board, the message is that your guides want you to try to communicate with them more. No. Somebody's guide wants forgiveness for how they behaved in life. That they understand that they hurt you. And they hope that you forgive them and that you'll let them help you in some capacity now. You don't have to. Remember, guides are just guides, not bosses. Okay? And the spirits that are coming through now don't necessarily have to be like guides. They can just be spirits that really wanted to connect with you. Benevolent ones, of course, always. But yeah, definitely interesting. Okay, any advice or anything that's to close us up? Three of Cups, somebody's guides are saying to enjoy life, to have fun. When you're having fun and just celebrating and eating good food and baking and just having a good old time, that's when they're close to you. That's a good time, a good energy to, and that's good advice. It's a good energy to use to contact your guides. You know, a lot of people are nervous about contacting guides because of what we see in movies. And like when you watch movies, it's always like these stupid kids sitting around a table with like a Ouija board and they're like, is anybody there? Which to the spirit world would be like the equivalent of me like kicking my front door open and being like, does anybody want to come inside my house? Just anybody at all that happens to hear me. That might not be the best plan. So like, you know, just inviting in the people and the guides and the spirits that are benevolent towards you, that only want your highest and best good. And those are the only ones you communicate with. That's the best way to kind of move forward. I'm really feeling like a lot of beginner energy. Like maybe some of you are just really brand new into like, even if you've like read cards for a while, you're like, I didn't even think about like guides being the ones giving the messages. I always thought it was a person seeing the future in the cards, which is something people can do. It's just not something I can do. So anyway, yeah, I've always worked with guides. And so I'm really careful about who I let in. So that's also something that the guides that are here, you know, are all good and they don't want to scare you. So it's always a good practice to remember when you're having just a good time of feeling good, like life is good, I feel blessed, I feel however that comes for you. Take a moment to be like, okay, and then just acknowledge your guides. Like, I know you're with me right now. I feel you. Show me a sign that you're here. Something that feels good. Show me a kitten. Surely that could never be scary. I'm sure there's a movie out there that makes that look scary, probably. Some little evil kitten. I'd still want it. All right, with that, I shall leave you. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. We shall see you next time. Bye. Group 3. So if you picked the little death head moth, or the black cat card, we have Fortune meets Opportunity. You know what's interesting? Before I even read that, what was coming through to me as I was setting up your camera and getting all the stuff ready to go. So I was thinking that, you know, black cats are considered unlucky, you know, back in the day. That some of you like had like a hard life or had like what you would consider like a hard knocks life. Sorry, as I punch my table. Hard knock. That you've taken what's been handed to you and you've turned it into something better. So I'm seeing like warrior energy, survivor energy. Being associated maybe with a darker side of life, but also using that to your advantage in some way. You know, so maybe you've always had a strong stomach, so you're in mortuary science or something like that. I don't know. Sort of like choosing to be on the fringe of society in some way, like an unconventional lifestyle or an unconventional career of some sort, different from like a 9 to 5. Maybe you're like a night worker, and you work in a dark, seedy underbelly of something, and that just suits you just fine. Your ability to overcome adversity has helped you help others. That's coming through. Lots of like really hard knock life energy though, like really surviving a lot of rough stuff. Yeah. Okay, so that's coming in automatically. And let's see what other guides have to tell you. I'm also just feeling cat spirit energy. Some of you may have had a black cat. If you did have a black cat, they are definitely here with us. Any type of cat bond, if you had a cat that you really bonded with, like rest assured, like that little sucker comes and visits you, I promise. Okay. Ten of Wands. Some burden is coming to an end. There's also a guide coming through saying that they help you during your hardest times. So they've been with you quite a bit. If your life has been hard, they were with you that entire way. And are still with you even when things have gotten better. I feel like things have gotten better. Not that everything's all sunshine and flowers, but you know what I mean. Yeah, Five of Wands, lots of conflict. I feel like a lot of you don't have like a lot of family support. That maybe the family is where that conflict lies, or the people that are around you that should be providing you the most support can't. They're not capable because they're toxic in some way, or they're dysfunctional in some way, caught up in their own little dramas. Maybe they create dramas. And this guide that's here is also saying to you that they're here with you now. Some of you, this is a guide of a teacher, either from a past life or even from this life, a teacher that was very helpful to you in some way in this life has still chosen to help you since they've passed. If it's a past life teacher, then you might not have any memory of them, because we very seldom do, but they've come forward to help teach you again in some way, to be there for you and help come and give you messages, which is what guides do. That's just their job, is to always try to communicate with us. So this time of year, veil's thinnest, yada yada, spooky season, yay. You all have a very, very supportive guide here that's willing to teach you through the ages and be there for you and to help carry heavy loads with you when other people whose job it was to do that for you weren't there for you. I feel like if this is a past life situation, that teacher was there for you in ways that your own family wasn't. Possibly even breaching like professional boundaries to do so, but not in a creepy way, in a helpful, you know, honor driven way. Like clearly they care about you a lot, or they wouldn't still be in your life in spirit form. So yeah, interesting. Sometimes I feel like too that, and this is something that I felt just firsthand, that even if you're still alive, there's still like a weird like good intentions that like a student will feel from you. And maybe that's going on for some of you. Let me know. Get a hold of your teachers. If you liked them, let them know. They won't think it's too weird. Okay, Seven of Cups. Some of you have a lot of guides around you and you're not sure which ones are good or bad. Just remember to say that you only accept the good and the rest will shuffle their way out. You can also tell the good ones that are around you to get rid of the ones that are bad. Some definite like extended family guide energy coming through with that Ten of Pentacles, like grandfather, grandmother kind of energy, great-grandmother, great-grandfather. They knew you might have been too little to know them before they passed in some cases, but I feel like they were like immediate family enough that your parents knew who they were. Okay. So that energy is coming through for some of you. For others, yeah, your guides are saying just to have them help weed out the ones that are not seeking out your best interest. That's all you have to do with spirits and guides. Television makes it look much more complicated. And certain personality types can make you feel like, oh, if you do it one little way wrong, you're gonna just have all kinds of bad negative energy around you. And I feel like that gives negative stuff a lot of power to be like, oh, you're just gonna unwittingly calling all this bad stuff on yourself, you know. I don't know who needs to hear that, but it came out of my mouth for a reason. Okay. Who else would like to talk to their people? Benevolent guides of group 3. What messages do you have? Page of Cups. Somebody has a friend. I feel like a young person who passed, like in high school, that's coming through. They just want you to know they're okay, that they still exist, they're happy, that they never forgot you, that they're glad you never forgot them. Very specific for some. I hope that's a happy message for somebody out there. 6 of Wands. Okay, so this is also very specific. There's a guide coming through saying that you have a very important calling, somebody in group 3. That you're going to be known for something that you do, something that inspires people. So if you have a following of people, keep it up. Because there's guide energy coming through saying that you could be famous. Congratulations. Let me know who you are when you become famous. Okay. What else do we have here? 9 of Pentacles. Interesting 9 of Pentacles. There's a guide coming through saying not to cage yourself. That you're doing better than you're giving yourself credit for. So if somebody's out there being hard on themselves, there's a guide coming through saying to knock it off. You've actually accomplished so much. And that you're continuing to do that. And you're not behind. You're right where you're supposed to be. And you have a lot to be proud of. Regardless of the constraints you've put on yourself in that regard. Four of Wands. Somebody's spouse from a past life is coming through. Somebody's spouse from a very, very, very long time ago. Medieval times. All right, we'll let you take a gander. Like 2 little spiders. This is how they're being shown. They want to remind you had a beautiful life together. They have a beautiful life waiting for you on the other side. So that'll be a fun little reunion for those of you that message came in for. Oh, they're still talking. You're their star. Oh my goodness. Group 2, I believe, had some romance guide energy coming through. And I was like, well, this just got awkward. The moon. Somebody's guide is coming through telling you that you need to trust your intuition, especially in matters of your future, being unsure because you can't see down that path all the way. They're saying to trust your intuition and move forward without fear. Knight of Cups. Somebody's guide is trying to get through to you by showing you hearts, starfish, seashells, mermaids, a sun. Those are guides trying to get your attention. They're also saying that something wonderful is going to be handed to you. You could use some luck after the hard life you've had, so I'll take that as well. The Tower in reverse. There's a guy telling somebody that, yeah, the hard times are over. I like how he looks like much different when he's the other way around. He looks like he's like, whatever. Like he's jumping clear of that explosion. Everything's going to be okay. That's definitely coming through. Yeah, Four of Cups. Don't keep worrying about the same thing over and over again. Somebody needs to really hear that. Don't worry about the same things happening to you over and over again, even though what happened was bad. It's not going to happen to you again. Is a reassurance that's also coming through. And last but not least, Ace of Wands. That is about a light coming on in the darkness. It's about you not missing what you need to see, that your guides have your back. You have protection. You have fortune on your side. Even though things were hard, you've made it this far. So you've already survived your hardest day, right? I like that saying. I know it probably makes some people roll their eyes, but here we are. All right. With that, I shall leave you. If this is helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you would like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, group 4. So if you picked the cute little bat. So sparkly. I feel like you guides are telling you that you need to not worry about what you can't see at this time, that you are being guided. That's a message coming through with bat energy. I'm also seeing with the trick or treat card, mischief and play, that your guides are reminding some of you to really take some time to spend with your kids. So I don't know what's going on, if it's your busy season in some way, really take that time to connect with them. I'm also feeling this energy for some that don't have kids, that your guides are saying that you need to connect with young people in some way. And maybe you're like, but Miriam, I don't see any young people. Like, okay, Rebecca, that's fine. But like, you know, this is about spirit's messages coming through of your guides who are closest to you right now than they will be for the whole rest of the year. So let's just go ahead and listen to their messages. A lot of times when a message like that comes through and you're like, I don't ever see any kids, you would be amazed at who might pop up. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you do see a kid popping up into your energy, try to remember that play energy, the mischief and play. Not too much mischief. Don't traumatize the poor child, but you know, be playful, be mindful. Maybe this is a card reminding you this season from a guide that you need to be a little playful yourself. For example, and this just popped into my mind out of nowhere. I can't ever go to these places because there's usually so much potpourri smell that I can't survive. But like, go to one of those little places where like you drink wine and you paint like a ghost picture together. I've always wanted to do that. But all the places that do it have some kind of weird pumpkin spice flavored smelling cancer causing catastrophe that will put me in the hospital, and so I don't go. But I would if I could find a place that didn't have that. If they didn't, they like have a pet dog. I'm like, dang it, I can't be around that either. But in any event, find something like playful to go do. One of the things that I go do, because usually I can find places like this that don't have candles and dogs, right? Are like haunted places, like haunted attractions where, you know, either you're getting chased by like people dressed up as haunties, or you are actually learning about a historic place that has real haunties, or a combo of both, which I'm going to this year. Oh, excited. I need to call them and find out why I can't get their weekday tickets. But anyway, something that is fun for you to do that brings the kid out in you, even if that's getting schnockered with some friends and then going to a park afterwards, safely, of course. Take an Uber and then go play on the swings. Just don't call so much attention to yourself that, you know, somebody calls the cops on you and you get like a public intoxication, like citation or something like that. But tap into that inner child, all right? Go visit a ghost town or, you know, go see the Winchester Mystery House for a change if you live in that area or whatever. I don't know. Like something fun. Find something fun to go do that's seasonal. Is definitely coming through from your guides. And you might connect with some kids this season. Oh, thank you, Sparts. And the Sparts just informed me that there are some children's spirits around you, which I feel like might sound creepy in a movie sense. But children's spirits are not to be frightened of, my friends. Especially if they're benevolent spirits that got invited in to talk with you by my benevolent guides, who would not have let them in if they're not benevolent themselves. So you have some fun little mischievous guides that are trying to make themselves known, and I think they may sometimes cause a little mischief around your house. They might misplace things, they might, you know, and then you find them in a weird spot, but you know, you always find them. They don't want to like upset you, you know, that kind of energy is coming through. Little sounds that are goofy sounds that aren't scary enough to scare you, but they're still weird enough that you can't explain them away. Funny little bumps in the night. Somebody messing with your pets in a good way. There's definitely some playful children energy around you. I just got a flash of somebody's property, and you might not know it, or you might know it. There are some children buried near or on your property, and their spirits are with you. They're not bad. They're very playful and happy. It might be fun during this time of year to leave out little treats for them. Look up some different creative ways to connect with your guides is always a bit of advice I like to give, because some of them really respond well to just a little bit of even just words. Queen of Cups. You have some feminine energy also coming through from a guide. Motherly. If not your mother in this life, maybe a mother in a past life or a matriarch in your family line for some. She played music. You might come from a musical family. I'm also seeing a lighthouse. Music by the sea atmosphere. So maybe you have an ancestor or a relative who played music, I don't know, somewhere where they play a lot of music and it's by an ocean. I don't know that. I don't know the oceans very well. I'm sure there's somewhere all over the world that has that motif. Let me know if it speaks to you. Nine of Pentacles, some more feminine energy coming through. For some of you, it's a continuation from this female spirit. She's giving another hint as to who she was, that she like caged herself, even though she was so grand, that she held herself back in some way. This might not be the truth. It might just be how she felt about herself. She was unconventional in the way she dressed and the way she lived. And there was like a lot of heartbreak in her life, especially with men. And she's often with you during breakups. Ace of Swords, she's there to tell you the tough truth. I think that sometimes she was in denial about the truth of situations that she was in herself. And she wants to make sure that never happens to you. Group 4. Very talkative lady. Wildlife. She knows a lot of stuff. She could read people really well. Four of Pentacles. Somebody who saved a lot of money is always watching over you and trying to help you with your finances. And yeah, a guide who would protect you from physical harm, also from like world harm. I know that sounds strange, but I think that I don't know if this is true everywhere or if it's just an American thing or what, but like we have like we do that doom scrolling, and like even before we had anything to scroll, we would like worry about like the end of the world and signs that the end of the world was coming and things were going to get worse and worse and worse and we're all going to die. You have a guide reassuring you that even if that bad of stuff happens, they would help you. It's pretty intense and very positive and very wonderful. I like it. That's like a pretty awesome guide to have on your side. It feels masculine. It feels human, but like this spirit when they were alive, like accomplished miraculous feats. Like battles, or some of them it was battles, for others it was like changing the world, exploring and discovering, like really changing the world, like standing up to dark forces. That kind of thing. Interesting. Very powerful guy I do have there. I would definitely be talking to that one. Tower in reverse. Very positive image for a tower in reverse of just, again, your guide saying that they're, even the worst of the worst happens, they're going to get you through that, which I like. Some of these guides coming through saying to stay away from those people in your life that are always in the middle of drama. It always seems to find them. There's always an excuse for it. It's never their fault. Start taking note of those people, because I don't think you're getting the whole story from them. I think they might be creating that for themselves. Your guides are also showing this is a lucky time for you. A good time. Spooky season should be fun. Right? You're going to go play, have some fun. Three of Pentacles. Yeah, having fun even at work. Or finding a fun project to do outside of work. Three of Pentacles is all about connecting with others in like a project or work sense. Or a health sense. Four of Wands, celebrations. My goodness. I feel like some of you might be going to a wedding or like something fun, something celebratory, maybe a Halloween wedding. I've always wanted to go to one of those. That'd be fun. Big, fast, positive, fast moving change. Good news coming in. Wonderful stuff. Good celebrations. Like maybe that wedding might be a surprise. But a happy surprise, and that everybody will be one of those weddings where there's no animosity. There's no drunk skulking person there that hates the whole thing. You ever been to one of those? Have you ever been the person at one of those? I've done both. Weird. If the vibe feels off, it feels off. What are you gonna do? Ten of Pentacles. You have a lot of ancestor guidance at this time. A lot of strong family roots. And somebody who recently passed has also come to say hi. So if you've recently lost somebody, they have come in to say hello to you and let you know that they're okay. Thank you for honoring them. That they can see you. They want you to see them. Always give them ideas, like tell them you want to see an octopus or a candle, or, things that, a skull and crossbones, anything that, I always ask for things in the oddest ways, like show me, a pumpkin or a spider, and it doesn't have to be a live spider or a real pumpkin. It could be some piece of art or something like that. So keep it creative. Anything else that your guides want to say to you? You are the master of your destiny, my friends. So just make sure to use your magic. Keep learning. Keep moving forward. And with that, I shall leave you. If this is helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box, my friends. Thank you for tuning in. We shall see you next time. Bye-bye-bye.